This
Aaron?
conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so we're up to Chelik Dalid Perak Tishii, the fourth part of the Sefer, the ninth chapter, and this is the very, very last chapter. And with this, we conclude Derech Hashem. Pretty wild, going from beginning to end. We will have completed Derech Hashem. What I like to do afterwards is to learn Chovot Halevavot, duties of the heart, which is also a very, very classic sefer. But I think what we'll do is we'll start that after Pesach. Okay, I think we'll start that after Pesach as opposed to starting now, and then we break it off, and we'll try to round up some. We'll try to lasso some new attendees for us. Okay, so let us begin over here. Ha'avodah hamikrit v'habrachot. This is avodah, service to Hashem, hamikrit, which happens at times, and brachot, and blessings, and how that fits into the general picture. I've been listening to a fantastic podcast on Aleph Beta called A Book Like No Other, which is all about God, the Garden of Eden, and the Eitz HaChai, and the Tree of Life, and the Eitz HaDas, and the Tree of Knowledge. How many trees was it, and how they reappear later on in history, and it's fantastic. Just one thing that I'll bring in, we always speak about avoda, our service to Hashem. So what we were supposed to do in the Gan Eden was la'ovda u'leshomra, right? To work it and to guard it. Once we were kicked out of Gan Eden, there the pasuk says we were sent out to work the land outside, right? And so that was moved outside of Gan Eden, and we had the two kruvim, the two angels, who were there lishomra, in order to maintain the guarding. But there was no one la'ovda of Gan Eden. And he goes on how later on, it's beautiful how he builds it up. It's I think the sixth podcast just came out. I haven't heard that one yet, but it really is fantastic stuff. But when we speak about avoda, right, we can't help but think about that's what we were meant to be doing originally, and that's what we are doing now with all of our Torah and our mitzvot. Aleph, ha'ach avodah mikriyot, the circumstantial, we'll call it avodot, hein kefi hamikrim, that's based on events, shekorin livnei adam, that happen to a person. We had before those which were zmani, those which were time-oriented, that come around every Shabbat, every Pesach, every Purim, every Chanukah, every Sukkot, every Rosh Hashanah, every Yom Kippur, and Rosh Chodesh. Those are the Zmani. And then we have the Mikri, that it's not on a time basis, but rather it's event-based. If this and this happens, then I must do that or that. And these events take place based on our matzav in this world. And our matzav in this world, right? I'm sorry? Yeah, where we are in this world. The machlehem, right? In terms of food that we eat. The malbushehem, clothing that we wear. Right? Garments. If a man is wearing a four-cornered garment, so then one must, no, a man or a woman. No, shatnez, right? Right. Man, four-cornered garment, then it must have tzitzit. He's not wearing a four-cornered garment. He doesn't have that, right? So there's machlehem, and there is our food, the food which requires us to make brachot. Min haTorah, based on Torah law, we make the bracha afterwards, birkat hamazon, and that is the really one clearly mandated Torah blessing, v'achalta v'savata uveirachta, and we'll soon see how the Rabbanan instituted also a bracha beforehand. V'chol tzarcheihem ha'anoshiyim, which is based on all of our human needs. V'iskehem hamediniyim, and all of our dealings, which also need to be in a society. We need to have dealings. So then there are many mitzvot that will come along if you're involved in this dealing, right? If you're lending money, then you can't do it with interest, right? And other such parameters that the Torah gives us. Uchlal kulan, the rule, the general rule of all limbs, nosad is based on that which we explained in the earlier parts, which is she'ein lecha inyan b'chol inyanei ha'olam. There is nothing that happens out of that whole tapestry, that whole array of incidents that happen in our life, chok o mikre, whether it is something that happens constantly, o mikre, or something that happens occasionally. Uzi, we're getting a lot of bounce back, so if you can mute until you want to speak up, I'd appreciate
Okay.
it. Thanks.
All right.
In any situation of situations, there is nothing that transpires shelo husad, which was not established for huchak, and the foundation wasn't laid and established. Kafim mashem mitzarech limatzei b'nimtzot, that it's something that needs to be found in this world, that we need to have in this world. Lefia tachlita amiti shel habriya, in order for the true purpose of creation that we mentioned above. And in general, the purpose of creation, which is shalahasig oto bishleimut. That in order, the tachlit is that through the decisions that we make, we will become more godly. We will be connecting to Hashem. And shelahasig oto bishleimut, in order for the world to reach that in its perfection, in its completion, hutzruchu kol hapratim ha'ela. All of these details are needed, bigvulot hahem, within the boundaries, shehem mugbalim be'emet, that they are bounded by. Amnam, sorech hapratim kulam, the need of this detail, of that aspect, vitzurotehem nimshach achar chalkem tziyut v'hadragotav v'ashpaot aleihem leminehen umadrigosehen k'moshe zachanu lemala. All of the details and the way that it comes, that goes all after these different levels and influences that all come down to this world, and they have their effects. And I would just add on that each of us experience that which we need to experience for our shleimut, whatever it might be, challenges, whatever it might be. V'hinei, in all of these mikrim and chukim, in all of these situations, nitztavu mitzvot. There are mitzvot. We were commanded with mitzvot, kafi in yanam, lahamid advarim al tzad hatov, lo al tzad hara, in order to establish all of these things in a manner that is tov, good, and not in the manner that is ra. Shekeshe yishamru hamaasim ahem, that when these acts are done, bagvulim ahem, within these parameters, within these boundaries, inyanam lefi hatov, then this will result in tov and bring good to the world. Vanimshach v'nolad mehem, and that which extends and pulls and is born from them is tov v'tikun. It is good and it is tikkun, fixing, correcting, mending, improving this world. V'im lo yishamru. But if these parameters are not kept, hine yisha'aru amasim litzad hara, then these actions fall into that which takes away the tzad, the side, the dark side, the tzad of ra, that which takes away from the ruchaniyut, from the elokut, the godliness, the spirituality of this world. V'tit pashet al yidehem, and through them there will come about hatuma, impurity, vazuama, and the stench, the vachoshech, hagadol, and great darkness, yichaser, a lacking, or an obfuscation of ha'ara ha'elyonah, of this light from above. V'yitrabeh ha'helam, and that will cause there to be this halam, this lack of awareness of God. Every mitzvah is meant to bring God into this world and to bring our awareness to Hashem. I would say we go to a grocery store and we check to see if there's a hechsher, right? If there's kosher certification on the food, that means that we recognize that we're in God's world eating his food. It's bringing God into every fiber of our lives. Actually, that which we eat, right, is a very special mitzvah because we literally become that which we eat, the cells of our body.
Kind of like the mezuzah, it reminds you all the time.
Exactly. Perfect. The mezuzah, which also, if you have a house, you have a mezuzah. And that's there to remind us. All the mitzvot are meant to serve as these constant reminders. And that's what brings God's presence into the world. And not keeping it, Vitrabeh ha'elam, that causes God's presence to be concealed, hidden in this world. Va'acharav, and that leads to, after that follows, kol hatoladot haraot, all of the bad results that flow. Hakol k'fi mitziyut ha'nyanahu, all this is based on the very essence of whatever situation that is, and the mitzvah that was meant to accompany it. Shelo nishmar bigvulav, that was not maintained within its parameters. Vayachas asher lo im ha'adam, right? And then the effect will be upon the connection that has with the person. V'achelek asher lo b'sivu v'gilgula klali shel nimtzaot, and the part that plays in this tremendous orchestra that we have of all the nimtzaot, of all those who exist. Hamit galgalim v'holchim, that's all going towards likava bashleimut, the purpose of everything. And ultimately we'll understand how, but right now it is certainly beyond us, how all the events are all mitgalgalim v'holchim. Mitgalgal is like rolling and moving inexorably, likava bashleimut, to establish a shleimut, a perfected world, as we mentioned above. Now let's see some examples. V'hinei, al pi derech zeh, based on this, husad inyan habrachot. Upon this is based the idea of the brachot. Shetiknu chachamenu zichron levracha, that our sages, Chazal, chachamenu zichron levracha, established. Al kol inyanei ha'olam, on all of these dealings, aspects of the world. Ve'hana'otav, and the hana'ah, and the time that we're getting pleasure, getting benefit from this world. Ideally, there are we make 100 brachot every day. Now, if we're, and it's a big if, unfortunately, but if we're thinking about what we're saying, so 100 times a day we say Baruch Atah Hashem Elokeinu Melech HaOlam, that is bound to have a profound effect on a person of feeling God's presence constantly. V'shoresh l'chulan, the root of all of these brachot, because like we said before, the only bracha that is clearly mandated by the Torah is Birkat HaMazon, the grace after meals. Shenistavinu Baba Torah. We're commanded to do that in the Torah. The Torah commands us, V'achalt, I'll bring you to the land, the Zavat Chalav Udvash, Eretz Chita Usara, the 7 species that the land is praised through. V'achalta, v'savata, uveirachta. You will eat, you will be sated, and you will bless. V'inyan zehu, and this idea is kinei kvar beyarnu. We already explained. Shekol ha'inyanim hanimtsaim v'chakukim bateva hinehem kulam pratim mechuvanim ela tachlit haklali. All the things that are established in the nature and the running of the world, they are all details that are, hello Cheryl, that are mechuvanim. If you want it, we're finishing up Derech Hashem now, Cheryl.
I'm not hearing anything.
I'm sorry?
He's not hearing anything.
Oh, you're not hearing. You don't hear me, Cheryl? Uzi, you hear me, right?
He's muted too.
You're muted. But do you hear
Yes,
me?
I do. I hear you loud and clear. She
Okay.
said, I'm not sharing anything.
Yeah.
Back on mute.
Here's me. Okay. Maybe I'll try talking louder. No, it's not
Even
Huh?
what?
Our top story tonight. The old Saturday Night Live fans. Yeah. Okay. So we already explained that everything that's found in this world, they're all pratim mechuvanim, they're all details that are aligned el tachlit haklali, to bring us to the ultimate purpose. Shehu hagia mitziyut kulo, to bring all that is in existence el ha-shleimut, to this perfection. V'chelkam b'davar hazeh, k'fi ha-madrega asher him ba ba'amitut mitziyutam. And part of this is according to the level that each thing is at. V'ulam ha'adam hanimshach achar chukot tivo. He spoke about this earlier, right? Mankind, we are pulled after the laws of our nature. We have to eat. We have to drink. We have to work in order to get some money. We have to get involved in this world. We can't, we can't become. I'm sorry, the man exactly doesn't fall anymore. So we're not malachim. We need to be involved in this world. But he said much earlier. So if we have this battle between the body and the soul, we'll call it, and the body has the home court advantage, we're in this world, and we have to get involved in all of these physical activities. So how does the neshama have a chance? How do we have a chance? So he said over there, hashpalato hi hagbahato. It is our lowliness that is our ticket to ascend. No, what he said is that by utilizing all of this physicality for spirituality, so then we can transform all of this physical into, there we go. Good, Cheryl. Okay, so I posted the link over there where we are. So with that, we can transform all that exists, all of our physical dealings can be elevated. V'ulam. So Cheryl, we're Chelik Dalid, Perak Shi, right? The fourth part, the 9th chapter. We're about 6 or 7 lines down in paragraph 2 in Beth. Okay, so where I sent you the link, that's 491. Scroll down to 492, and then we just started that paragraph. Yeah, we're about a little bit into that paragraph. Okay, v'ulam ha'adam nimshach chukot tivo. So humankind, we're pulled after these needs, physical needs that we have. Uparla pulot, and we have to do certain actions, kafi ma shehu kaplo, according to that which is established as part of our nature. We have to eat, we have to drink, we have to sleep. We have to use the facilities afterwards. We have to get involved in working in order to be able to buy all the things that we need.
Does it include like getting involved in the community too, or no? Just needs.
Right now, we're talking about the physical needs,
Okay.
right? But what you're saying is also interesting, right, Robin? Right, the idea of getting involved in the community. We also have our social needs of being involved. So therefore, yesh lo litkavein tamid la'avodat baro. One ideally is focusing constantly that I'm doing this in order to have the strength, in order to have the ability to serve my Creator. Ulamashi yotzei min ha'puolot hahein to'elet ve'ezer el hasagat hatachlit hazeh, and that which will result, right, towards the needs, right, the gains of this tachlit, hadvarim be'emet, will be in this manner as it's arranged, as you'll see in the Perush. Certain things will help my avodat Hashem immediately. And others will lead to something else, that after a whole series of events, one after another, I will get to that, right? So I'm eating, right, in order to stay alive, in order to be able to do the mitzvot, right? Now, I'm working so I can pay for my kids' tuition, so they can go and get a good education, they can get a good Torah education, and then they'll, right? So that is many, many, many steps down, but that's all towards that. Whatever they'll be, whether it's an immediate gain or it's one of these that sets in motion step after step after step, ideally, our involvement will be lekavanazu, with this in mind. That which will result, even if it's after 10 different steps. Ezer, this will be a step towards hasagat hatachlit, achieving this purpose, below lechavana acheret, and not for a different kavanah. Dahainu kavanat hata'avot, in order to fulfill my pleasure. I'm sorry? Lust and pleasures, vanitiyah hachamrit elamotarot, or our pull towards having luxury and having extra things. V'yishamru chulam, and we will guard our way in gaining all these things. Bagvulin, within the boundaries. Shechakakal lehem haTorah elokit, that our godly Torah gave us the gvulin, the parameters, the boundaries that were established. Va'az yu kulam be'emet ozrim l'davar hazeh, and then all of them, in fact, will help towards this. V'yechashvu kulam t'na'ei avodah, and they'll all be considered aspects, conditions of avoda, a way of serving Hashem. Right? So a person, right, two people be doing the same exact act, right? This guy is going to work in order to earn his money so he can go out to eat and then go to the bar and get drunk. And the other guy is doing the same thing. He's going to work, earning the same money in order that he can support his family and his children and keep everyone sustained and be able to help the community and help others and give his tzedakah, right? They're both working 9 to 5 at the same job, but they are existing in completely different worlds. The Torah has taught us, after we've gotten the benefit of our food, ushetiyatenu, and our drinks, noder lefanav yitbarach, we need to give our thanks before him, unevarech shemo, and to bless his name, to recognize where it all comes from. The nachzir davar, and thereby we are returning this matter, ela tachlit ha'amiti shelo. What was the true purpose of this food? The true purpose of this food was in order for us to connect to Hashem through this food. And now this food is being used as a means of my thanking God, my connecting to God, and therefore this is an ezer, this is helping ela tachlit haklali, to this ultimate purpose that we mentioned. Ad shenimtza b'chulam mitgadel kvodo yitbarach, that through everything that we do, what results? Mitgadel, there is an increase of kvodo yitbarach, of God's honor. B'ma shechavtso na'aseh, that his will has been done. He told us to make the blessing, and we make the blessing, and it's more than that. He wants us to have a relationship with him, to connect to him, to appreciate, right? Which is opening up all the pipelines for bracha. Va'atzato mitkayemet, and his plan, his eitzah, his counsel is mitkayemet, has been fulfilled. V'zeh klal inyan birkat hamazon. And that is the idea of the birkat hamazon, of the grace after meals. V'chein kol shar birchot hanehanin. And so to all the other brachot of hana'ah, of pleasure, of benefit, that is made sha'achar ha'hana'ah, that is made after we have had that hana'ah, that benefit. Ve'ulam, however, od hosifu chachamein zechron levracha, they also added on the takein brachot kodem hana'ah. Rabbinically, they also add on that we should make a bracha prior to getting that benefit. Lahagdil zeha'inyan, which just adds to this concept. V'hu shegam kodem sheyishtamei sha'adam min ha'olam. Before I partake, yazkir shemo yitbarach alav. We mention his blessed name, his name may be blessed on this item. V'yivarcheyu, and we give a bracha. V'yitkavein shemimeni barach bolo hatov hahu. That and we focus that, wow, this amazing orange, right? Even if I planted the seeds and I tended to the tree, how did that seed turn into this luscious fruit? By going into the ground. How from the seed did a watermelon come? Did a grape come? Did everything come? It's actually mind-blowing. So before we partake of any of these things, pause, recognize that this is, Yazkir, mention the name of Hashem.
It's like a miracle.
It is truly a miracle, right? You know, the example that's often given, so you mentioned before the man that fell from heaven, right? So to them, that was miraculous, because in Egypt, they were used to things growing from the ground. The kids who were born in the midbar, to them in the desert, to them what was natural every day, right? It's raining, wasn't moving meatballs, raining meatballs and spaghetti from right? It's right. The food comes out from the heaven, right? Sorry?
Twice on Friday, right?
Yeah, and a double portion on Friday. Right? That's the most natural thing. We go into Israel and things start to grow from the ground. They say it's a miracle, food from the ground. But is food from the ground any less miraculous than food coming from the heavens, right? From the seed and from the soil comes these incredible, incredible things of all sizes and shapes and tastes. It's truly, truly, and the way that it's self-preserved. Whole Foods a number of years ago had a whole debacle. They started to sell peeled oranges. Now, to sell peeled oranges, it needs to be in like a Ziploc bag in a plastic container, And here is a company that's like big on sustainability and the environment. Like, just don't peel it. Yeah, like all this plastic to just try to replicate what an orange peel does, and that grows with the orange to protect it. I mean, it is mind-boggling. To me, we open up our eyes and we see, to think that all of this happened randomly. I'm okay with evolution as long as we've got God supervising, orchestrating. Otherwise, the chances of all this happening takes a greater leap of faith than any religion. Sorry?
It's like a negative. The
Yeah.
chances are it's not even
Yeah.
possible.
Yeah. So before we partake of anything, so then Yazkir Shemo Yitbarach Alav, we mention the name of God on it. V'yivarcheya, when we bless him. V'yitkavein, and we focus. We have the kavanah Shemimenu Yitbarach, that is from him. Ba'lo atovahu. This is a gift from God. V'yitkavein, and focus, think, ba'amitat hatovahu, about the truth, the essence of this good, what a gift it is. She'enu inyan gufani v'hana'a chamrit bilvad. Right? That is not just something that is gufani, physical, v'hana'a chamrit, or a physical or a material benefit alone. Ela shebe'emet hu inyan muchan mimenu yitbarach. This is something that comes to us from God. Lamasha yotzei mimenu. Why is he giving it to us? In order that we will extract from it, utilize that, to'elet, a gain, latov ha'amiti, to use this as a vehicle towards the tov ha'amiti, the true good, as we have mentioned. The true good, of course, we've been saying throughout, is this devekus b'Hashem, is this connection, ultimate connection to Hashem. Uvakdima inin hazeh l'maaseh yishaer, and by uvakdima inin hazeh l'maaseh, and by doing this blessing, this focus, this kavanah, prior to the act, yishaer hamasehu chulo l'tzara tov, that then directs that this action is kulo, all for l'tzara tov, all for the tov aspect, the lo l'tzar hara, without any vestige of ra in it. V'yitukan bo adam, and that way the human being, the person, is purified, is uplifted. V'yitaleh, and he lifts up. V'lo yitkalkel v'yushbal, as opposed to that very same situation, that very same act, being one that will yitkalkel, break him down, lower him. Why? Because if one doesn't follow the parameters, then it ends up causing ha'elam. I'm cutting God out of the equation. Right? It's, wow, Mother Nature is just amazing. Right? That's causing that ha'elam. That's pushing God out of the picture.
Rabbi,
As we mentioned.
Rabbi,
Yes, Uzi.
I was just going to say that the the absence of relating all the physical stuff that we do, like eating, relating that to God, makes us no different than animals, and that's the point. That's what elevates us spiritually. So when we combine the physical and the spiritual, even when we eat, that is a true bliss.
Beautiful. Beautiful. You know, they tell the story of these two guys who were buddies, and they made up that whoever leaves first will let the other one know what's like on the other side. So one of them dies first. Cheryl, we're getting some bounce back. I'm just going to mute you, okay?
What?
Oh, we were getting some bounce back from you, so I just put you on mute, if that's okay. But feel free to speak up if you want to unmute yourself whenever you'd like to. So the first guy dies, comes to the other guy in a dream, and he says, so what's it like? He says, it's amazing. I eat when I want. I drink when I want. I sleep when I want. The guy says, wow, that's heaven? He says, no, I came back as a cow in Omaha. Right? You know, that's an animal's life, right? There's got to be more than that. Gimel, our very, very last paragraph of Derech Hashem. Ve'ulam, gam v'maaseh mitzvot, also by the acts of mitzvot. Tiknu lanu chachameinu zechron levracha, our sages established for us brachot eile, these brachot, right? That we don't just do the mitzvah, we make the bracha, right? Lahadlik ner shel Shabbat, lahaniach tefillin, litatef bat tzitzit, right? Whatever it is, we make the bracha before we do that mitzvah. Why? Lechibuva shel ha-mitzvah. So we don't just like fall into it. It's lechibuva, chiba is love, to endear that mitzvah to us, that we recognize. Just 1 second. Hi, you're at the gate? Okay, 1 second, I'll let you in.
Let me go let him in.
I got it.
Oh.
I got it on my phone.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. This should be it. Okay. L'chibuva shalan mitzvah, in order to endear this mitzvah to us. L'hodot lo yisbarach, to thank Hashem. Sheratza banu, right? That we need to focus on this. That's incredible. The master of the universe has told me that it makes a difference in the world. It's important for me to light these Shabbat candles, to put on this tefillin, whatever mitzvah it is that I'm about to do. L'hodot lo yisbarach, to thank him. Sheratza banu, that he wants us. He cares about us. He cares what we do. The Natan Lanu, and he's given us tikkunim gedolim ka'ela. He's given us these opportunities of tikkun, these amazing opportunities to improve ourselves, to spiritualize ourselves and the world, and to bring us close to him. The nimsa al yidei zeh, so through this bracha that we make beforehand, which gives us this focus and reminds us of which endears the mitzvah to us, right? The action is elevated that much more, right? Even a person doesn't make the bracha, a person still fulfills the mitzvah. You do the mitzvah without a bracha, you've still fulfilled the mitzvah, but you've missed out on that whole intimate experience aspect of the mitzvah. But inside they say the action is uplifted that much more. And a person gains that much more of this inspiration, of this help, of this connection from Hashem. Kikain hi hamida. This is how it always works. Kefiyat orarut. According to the degree that we push ourselves, arouse ourselves, motivate ourselves, elav, towards him, according to the degree that we bring ourselves to him, that commensurate to that will be the degree of the help that we will get from him, right? It's the mirror in the sky. It's that reflection. The degree that we put ourselves out, that's the degree to which Hashem responds. So they establish for us these brachot that we make before doing the mitzvah, l'chibuv on mitzvah, to focus, right, to make us love this mitzvah more, to appreciate, to recognize what a gift it is, and that way we're moving that much towards him, and the result is that Hashem moves that much towards us. Whether it's a little or it's a lot, the degree to which we do, that's the degree to which returns b'chol poal, with every action sheyiyeh that is done kafi mashahu, according to that which it is. And he closes off the sefer with the words uboteach ba'Hashem ashrav. One who puts their faith, their trust in Hashem, ashrav, is happy, fortunate, right? That is the point of all of us being here. And we complete. Tam v'nishlam shevach is now complete and filled. Shevach, the praise, lakel, to the God, borei olam, the creator of the world.
יישר כוח, חזק, חזק, חזק ונתחזק.
V'nitchazek. Thank you, Uzi. Good having you, Cheryl and Aaron, Robin. Good. And so, Bezrat Hashem, after Pesach is when we will start up with Chovot Halevavot.
It's a part of this.
Excellent.
Different book. I'll show you. We have it in the library.
Oh, cool.
Okay. Those who've been listening online, welcome. And after Pesach, we'll resume.